Browns make final call on Shedeur's status versus Eagles. Rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders will sit out the Cleveland Browns' second preseason game Saturday against the Philadelphia Eagles after suffering an oblique injury during joint practices. Sanders was hurt Wednesday during early throwing drills against the Eagles and has been sidelined since. While the Browns have not released an official injury report, Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com reported the team intends to rest him. Sanders strained the oblique in early throwing drills against the Eagles on the first day of joint practices on Wednesday and sat out the rest of the session. He also sat out Thursday and will rest on Sunday during the second preseason game, Cabot said. The fifth-round pick started Cleveland's first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers, completing 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was a strong debut in his push-up-the-depth chart before the injury halted his momentum. Felt it early, I think, warming up, and then felt it throughout individuals, so took a look at it. You know, if it's a right guard, you can play through that. When it's a quarterback, you kind of need that muscle to throw, Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said of Sanders' injury. So unfortunately, going to put him down for a little bit here. We'll treat it day to day and see how he responds. But want to be smart because he's a thrower, so you can't push that thing. The Browns are hopeful Sanders will return next week for their preseason finale against the Los Angeles Rams, traditionally used as a dress rehearsal for the regular season. Browns QB Dillon Gabriel will get preseason spotlight. Sanders, Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco will not suit up Saturday, putting the spotlight on rookie Dillon Gabriel. The third-round pick is expected to get a similar showcase to what Sanders had last week. Gabriel, who suffered a hamstring injury in early August, returned to full practice this week and participated in joint sessions against the Eagles. The Browns will evaluate him once more before kickoff, but he is likely to start and log significant snaps. He continues to keep the focus on one day at a time and taking what comes to him, Stefanski said. Obviously, anytime you miss representatives due to injury, you got to make sure you're staying as sharp as you can. And I think he's done a nice job of that in meetings. Veteran Tyler Huntley is also expected to see time under center against Philadelphia. Pickett remains limited due to a hamstring injury and won't face his former team. Joe Flacco likely Week 1 starter for Browns. The Browns have yet to name a starting quarterback, but all signs point to 40-year-old Flacco as the obvious choice. He's stayed healthy through camp and has taken the majority of first-team representatives. Flacco said he isn't concerned about the team's slow approach to making the announcement. Kevin's Kevin, man, Flacco said this week, referring to Stefanski. He's the one in charge, and I'm not really looking into when he's going to do things and why he's going to do things. I'm just going out there and being myself and feel really confident about what I've been doing. The Browns open the season September 7th against the Cincinnati Bengals, kicking off a demanding early stretch on the schedule. Turning to Flacco, who brings more than 200 career starts, offers stability out of the gate. But if the team falters, the rookies, or even Pickett, could get their chance as the season wears on. The Cleveland Browns training facility in Berea, Ohio, felt heavier than usual that morning. Clouds rolled over Lake Erie as if nature itself knew a decision was coming, one that could shape not only a game against the Philadelphia Eagles but also the trajectory of a young quarterback's career. Shedeur Sanders sat alone in the quarterback room before meetings. His right arm, taped and iced after weeks of soreness, pulsed with both pain and anticipation. The whispers around the locker room, the chatter in Cleveland sports bars, the speculation on national talk shows, it all funneled into one question. Would Shedeur play against the Eagles, or would the Browns shelve him until further notice? For days, head coach Kevin Stefanski had been deliberately vague. Day to day, he'd told reporters, "We'll make the best decision for the team." The fans didn't buy it. Every leaked practice report carried weight like a stock market tip. One beat reporter swore Shedeur was gritting through representatives with fire in his eyes. Another claimed he had been pulled early after struggling with velocity. The Eagles game wasn't just another preseason clash. It was the litmus test. Philadelphia's defensive front, ferocious, unforgiving, and relentless, was the kind of measuring stick no rookie wanted but every rookie needed. The Browns had penciled this matchup as the moment to see if Shedeur's poise under pressure translated to the NFL. And now, as kickoff neared, it wasn't clear if he'd even step onto the field. The meeting. In a quiet corner of the facility, Stefanski sat with General Manager Andrew Berry. A whiteboard in the room displayed depth charts, injury updates, and the daunting schedule ahead. Berry leaned back. "If we sit him, people are going to say we don't believe in him. If we play him and he aggravates that arm, we could set him back months. Stefanski folded his arms. The kid wants it. He's been asking me all week. Heck, he's been begging me. But I need to know if this is about want or about readiness. There's a difference. Outside, Shedeur was waiting for the verdict like a defendant awaiting the jury. When Stefanski finally called him in, Sanders stood tall, his eyes betraying both hunger and fatigue. Shedeur, Stefanski began, we're making the final call today. Before I tell you, I want to hear from you. Where's your head? Shedeur didn't hesitate. Coach, I came here to compete. Philly's got dogs on defense, and if I can't stand against them, then I don't belong here. I'm sore, yeah, but soreness won't define me. Let me play. The room was silent. Stefanski exchanged a glance with Berry. And in that moment, the decision crystallized. The announcement. The Browns' social media team hit send at exactly noon. Breaking, head coach Kevin Stefanski confirms rookie QB Shedeur Sanders will be active against the Eagles. Within minutes, the news ricocheted across the sports world. ESPN cut into programming. Twitter exploded. In Cleveland, fans driving down I-480 honked their horns as if the team had just won a playoff game. Shedeur's gonna start. Against the Birds. Man, this is either genius or madness, one caller ranted on a local radio show. But for Shedeur, it was liberation. The speculation was over. Now it was just football. Game day. Lincoln Financial Field buzzed with energy. The Eagles' faithful, notorious for their brutal honesty and unforgiving heckles, had already prepared chants targeting Sanders. Signs waved in the stands. Welcome to the NFL, Shedeur, and Philly eats rookies alive. In the locker room, Sanders tightened his pads and whispered a prayer. Beside him, Deshaun Watson, his veteran counterpart and sometimes rival, patted him on the shoulder. Don't chase perfection, young blood, Watson said. Chase moments. Stack enough of those, and the rest takes care of itself. The first series began. The Eagles' defensive line snarled across from him, eyes hungry. On the first snap, Sanders dropped back, felt the pressure, and released a quick dart to Amari Cooper. Complete. 5 yards. Nothing flashy, but it settled his nerves.